Hi guys, Harry Sunday here, letting you know that there's a apparel company that supports the game that you love. It's called thereisonlyonefootball.com, guys. They've got all sorts of stuff, from caps, t-shirts, water bottles, all sorts of accessories, even for your mobile phone. All that sporting stuff you can wear anywhere you want to wear it, guys. That's right. And don't forget the website it's on, thereisonlyonefootball.com.
There is only one football!
Welcome on tonight, guys. Football is right now is live tonight, guys, at the Roxburgh Park Studios in Victoria. We are the Soccer Psychos of Australia, and we bloody well like it. Frothing to my right, and I'm Harry Sunday. Welcome on, guys. We've got some special guests on tonight, guys. We've got Joe Spiteri. We've also got Mr. Carlos Bielli from Planet Football New South Wales. Here's a song.
Cup of life.
Oh, Frothy, what you doing, mate?
We on?
We're on, of course we're on, mate. Don't
The cup of life. This is the one.
The cup of life, this is the one. Now is the time, don't ever stop. We should've known, gotta be strong. We should've known, right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world is at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really want it to be good.
Hey!
I see it in your eyes, you want the cup of life. Now that the day's here, you're gonna get it. Do you really?
Horace, get out of here, mate!
Hey!
Here we go!
Here we go. Ali, Ali, Ali. Go, go, go. Ali, Ali.
Okay, guys, we are the people, we are the passion, we are the history, we bloody well are history. We're the Soccer Psychos. It's our way, the highway, Frothy. Our way, the highway. We've got guests online right now. Welcome, gentlemen, welcome.
Who have we got? Who's on?
We got Carlos Bielli from Planet Football. We've got Joe
Carlos
Spiteri.
Bielli.
How are you, boys?
Yeah, g'day, Harry, mate.
Now, how do you come after that intro? What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Joey?
Oh, yeah, sounds great, mate.
We're absolutely crazy here, mate.
Joe's going to have a...
Well, they call us the Soccer Psychos of Australia. There you go.
yeah.
Frothy, welcome tonight too.
good evening, young fellas. Now, Joe, I've got a special... well, look, you can email us off air, and basically, I've got a present for you. I don't know if you're watching.
Oh, no.
Well, does anyone watch us these days, Harry?
Of course, there's about 50 people watching right now,
Well,
man.
I've got a retro Queensland Raw beanie,
Oh,
which
no, Joe.
I can give to you just at a small fee of a couple of $100.
Oh, yeah.
If you're happy with that, I can put it in the mail for you, Joe. What do you think?
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll take anything. Pretty cold down here in Victoria at the moment.
We
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Carlos, welcome to you too.
Oh, thank you, Harry. I think as
Carlos.
a solicitor speaking, I think we should patent that intro.
Exactly.
I think
Well,
it is
I'll tell you
a
what,
drop dead. It's a gorgeous introduction. We should do the paperwork with
yes.
IPA Australia, so we patent that intro that no one could
Well,
knock it off
I reckon
of you guys.
Ricky Martin will cut our throats if we do that, I reckon.
Well, now, listen, can I just get... because, look, we had an interrupted show last night,
That's right.
boys, and we had a few more things to talk about tonight. Can I just start with Joe? I'm going to hit Joe with this question. We do an A-League NSL comparison, Joe. Now, I know you understand the game better than all of us, obviously. Socceroo. Actually,
He's back. Get out
sorry,
of the bloody
fellas,
Horace
Horace
the
the
Crow.
Crow is flying over. Is he gone? Is he still there?
He's gone, mate. He's jealous of us.
Now, Joe, Andrew Redmayne or Peter Lawmans, who do you think would be the better keeper?
Oh, I used to love watching Peter Lawrence, mate, back in the day.
Yes.
He was a gun.
So you'd go for Peter Lawmans, I suppose. That'd
Yep,
be your
I'd
pick.
go with Peter. Yep, he was a superstar.
Correct. I had Peter too. Yourself, Harry, do you remember Peter? Well, Harry's too young. Do you remember those days?
I was there, mate. At the,
Were you there, were you?
Well, I was the guy jumping the fence, hitting the
you
referee.
were,
No,
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah,
me joking, mate.
That were the good old days, Joe, where we used to have passes, like our memberships to get in. So what we did, we get in and we sort of pass it through the barbed wire fence for the next guy
That's
to come
right,
in.
exactly.
It's probably why the clubs went bust those days. But
Now we're going to start with.
well, let's go. Yes,
Now,
I'll just crack open my can of Coke here.
now you're there right now. For the Sydney side of Joe Spiteri, of course.
That's right,
You must remember Joe very well. Have you got some questions for him, Carlos?
I do. I remember going to watch Joe when he was playing for Melita, and it was Melita's heyday with a lot of characters like Royal Blanco. When you speak about Melita Eagles and the making of youngsters into players, Royal Blanco was there throughout the process. But Joe, you had an amazing career. You played for Marconi, Melita, you went overseas, you played for the Socceroos. Which coach had the biggest impact in making Joe Spiteri the player that you were, Joe?
Yeah, look, along the way there was a lot of great coaches. Early on, back in Victoria, I had Cherto Cherkovic, who was instrumental in then getting me over to Parramatta and under Rally Rasic, another great name and coach, and then sort of just progressed overseas and things where there was a lot of great coaches and a lot of everyone sort of had their own individual, talent, and you'd pick up things, and you're never too old to sort of, learn and pick up new skills from these great coaches.
Now I've got one for you now before we get Carlos. But now, where did you start your career? Was it Melbourne that you started at a junior club, or was it Sydney? You were a Melbourne boy, is that right?
Yeah. I was brought up in the west side of Melbourne in St Albans.
Yes.
And my junior club was Green Gully.
Green Gully.
Green Gully.
They're still around. They're
Green
still around.
Gully. Yeah, they're still going strong. My father was president back in the day for quite some time, and that's where I sort of grew up on the soccer fields of Green Gully, causing mischief, playing soccer as much as I can, and sort of went through all my junior career at Green Gully. And I did hear you say that I played for George Cross, but never played for the arch enemy.
I put that down. I've got to put Cross.
Green Gully and George
Yeah,
Cross back in the day, they had some great clashes, and sort of that's where I sort of started with my career over at Green Gully.
Yeah, Carlos.
Now, Joe, were you always a striker, or how did you become to be that number 9 that we all love to watch? Like, it was like Energizer Bunny going around hustling people. So were you always a striker, or who at what point in time did you decide, I'm going to be the battering ram and take all the punishment and score goals?
Well, the way it really occurred, I always ended up as a striker. When you started off at Green Gully, their policy was to throw every new player in goal. So as a junior, I started about 5-6 years old, and they said, we need goalies, throw them in goals. And that first training session, I didn't get a touch of the ball. And the coach at the time came up to me and said, please move away as far away from the goals as possible.
Oh, God.
Threw me up front, and
that
was the end of it.
Joey, to do that to a kid starting a game, what a joke.
Yeah. So, I didn't do really well at goals, and I'm glad he did sort of throw me out of goals and up the other end because, the rest is history.
Now, Frothy, what have you got for Joey?
Well, Joe, give us your expert opinion. Well, actually, I would say expert fact, because I think he's going to tell us now exactly what it is here. I'm after this answer here. Brendan Hamill, who He's obviously, well, you'd have to say he's probably got another year or so. He's been going around for a while. Nothing against the young fella. Now, the Victory have made some good signings by signing Hamill. Do you think that is the right way to go?
Look, when it comes to the Melbourne Victory, you especially with such a poor year they had this year, you would have hoped they would have gone to a few of the younger players and tried to sort of develop them and bring them through. Again, no disrespect to Brendan and what he's done and what he's achieved in the game. But yeah, I don't know, these big clubs, especially, with Melbourne Victory, they always sort of tend to sort of, buy players instead of trying to sort of develop them, so to speak. So it's a little bit sad.
Well, yep, exactly. And that's the answer I had here, Harry.
Fantastic. Now, before we bring Carlos again, I've got these. Now, we're talking about clubs here. Green Gully,
yes.
Parramatta, Melita Eagles. That's a mouthful. Parramatta, Melita Eagles.
West Adelaide, Hallis.
No.
No?
Marconi, Melbourne. Was Melbourne Knights any time that you played there?
Oh, yeah, you had a run there.
Yeah, Melbourne Knights was the golden age, mate. Back-to-back champions. One of the best teams in Australia to ever go round, and the players there were just unbelievable. You could just sort of continue and have a whole show just naming them off and for what they achieved on those years that I was there, 94, 95, 95, 96, back-to-back champions, 96, 97.
Amazing club as far, and they were one of the centres of the. There were clubs that were called the centres of the NSL, and that was one of them. And you knew that yourself, of course.
Well,
the way that the players they had what they have, they had bloody all Socceroos in that squad, didn't they? All of you guys, Socceroos mainly.
Yeah, Danny Tiardo, Vico Buljabasic, Steve Horvat, Andrew Marr.
My God.
Mark Silic, Joe Biskic, Frank Urich. The list goes on and on. Fausto Diamicis.
Oh, gee.
Fausto, yes.
David Savinsky, Adrian Savinsky's.
My God.
Ivan Giselles. Just every player you could go through. Damian Wojtek's.
Oh my God. Mate, what was that team?
Gurganovic's, Pondujak's,
Tommy, yes.
Tommy and Ollie Ponduljak. Ante Kovacevic. Just player after player after player.
They had enough money to pay you blokes or what? And enough money to pay you blokes? Jesus,
well, there's rumours going around about payments, late payments. Can you confirm any of that?
Oh, here we go again. He's getting political.
No, I'm not political. I'm stating a fact, though. Were rumours going around back those days.
Oh, God, here we go.
Now that you're officially not there, maybe you can... You can tell us, Joe. It's only us four watching the show, so don't worry about anything else.
Look, mate. Back in the day, clubs always looked after their money and where they spent it, and I think they did very well with
good answer
with what they had and attracting such a quality team listed team there.
Carlos, you there? Go for it.
Don't forget Big Mark Viduka.
Oh, of course, the Vidukes, my God, man.
Well,
we can't get him on the show. We're disappointed. He just always does it to us.
Can I just say, Joe, were you there? Refresh our memories. Were you there when Francis Retifi was here? I know he went to South and he went to.
Francis was playing at South at the time.
At the time, yeah.
Carlos,
strange, a bit of a strange finisher, Francis, wasn't he? He'd net those difficult ones and he'd miss those easy ones, which was a bit... he was sort of known for that, wasn't he?
He was a bit awkward, but he definitely knew where the net was.
He did.
Carlos, what have you got for Joey?
Look, the Carlos on Sea City Lawyers, is it?
You mentioned... thank you, boys. Thank you, Frothy. You mentioned some amazing names of Australian football that you play with. But I want to ask, is there a game that you played in that brings you tears of joy because everything that you did turned to gold? And is there another game that you look back and it brings you tears of despair? Which one was it?
Belgium Cup final.
Yes,
back in 98, 99, played with Liège. in front of about 80,000 there in Brussels.
Wow.
And,
My God.
it was my first real game back after a long stint with injury. I had stress fractures, and the coach saw I was sort of, coming back and gave me an opportunity and went on and scored the first goal in the cup final, set up a couple more. We ended up winning 3-1, and everything just sort of seemed to fall into place. So that was a very good memory. The a bad memory that I sort of, recall was our UEFA Cup. I'm not too sure what I think it was quarters or something like that with Sturm Graz in Austria. We got a chance to play in the return leg, came on, scored the goal. We were down 2-0 in aggregate, got the first goal, and then went through in the last minutes to equalise and, put us into extra time and hit the side netting, and it just didn't sort of go in. Our keeper sort of, I think, made a save, and that sort of left a bit of a sour note in my mouth. But most of the time on the big stage, I always used to sort of find a goal or do something, to bring back fond memories. So I never mind like a cup final or that sort of thing.
Now, Joe, go on, Carlos, go on.
Going from Australian football to European football, how difficult was the transition and to adapt to a higher level of football, Joe?
I think the big difference was the speed of the game. When I playing in Austria and then definitely in Belgium, the level of training was an all day, every day type of affair. Where, back in Australia was, part-time, and probably even till today, still seems a little bit part-time. We were full-time over there, and this is talking 20 years ago, full-time, all day, every day, get there for 8:30, have train a couple of hours, have some lunch, have a bit of a rest, get yourself organised with doctors or pedicurists or, physios, whatever you needed, go out and train for another couple of hours, go home buggered and come and do it all again the next day. So, that level of training and expertise sort of just took the game to the next level and the speed of the game to the next level, because they were just a lot fitter. So that you had to really quickly adapt and do the hard work and sort of become accustomed to that level. Otherwise, you would fall away. So that was a big difference.
Okay, Joey, now what I've got now we're going to the Socceroos part of it.
Ooh.
This is the serious stuff.
Ooh.
Now, of course, you, as Carlos said, you in Belgium, things are getting harder.
Yes.
Now, when did you first? Now, we saw you play in the Socceroos, and we saw what was going on there. Now, when did you start in the Socceroos?
I started back in '95.
Yes.
I had my first game for the Socceroos. Was already a major part of the Olyroos, the Olympic team, back then. So under Eddie Thompson and
God bless him.
And his assistants Raul Blanco and Les Scheinflood.
Before you go on, I know I've stopped you there. Now you know the boss. What are you doing? Are you doing today, boss? Joey? Are you going to run all your laps or what? Is that the way he talks?
Yeah, definitely.
You
must act.
Yeah. We've had him on. Keep going.
Act,
exactly. We've had him on. We know what he's like. I know.
Yeah, the boss.
Keep going.
And you had to call him the boss. You had to call him boss. You couldn't call him Les or anything like that. He was the boss. He was the big man.
Oh man, I know.
Yeah, he was a scary individual back in the day.
I've met him. I've met him. Don't worry. Oh boy. He's still scary, but he's bloody good. He's a bloody good man. Now, when you played for you also played for the Olyroos. What year was the Olyroos that you played?
We did the '96 Atlanta Olympics.
Okay, now so 96.
Myself and the big V bomber up front. Danny Teodo. There was half the Melbourne Knights team was in there. We had 5 of the Melbourne Knights in there.
So that means you know me. You actually know me.
Absolutely.
You do know me.
Everybody knows you.
I'll tell you where you can recognise me from. You guys went up to Townsville, is that right? You went up to Townsville?
Yeah.
And
we
now
did a tournament in Townsville.
Yeah, I had breakfast with you guys. I had breakfast with you guys, and I'll tell you why. I was up there performing in a crazy outfit.
Yes.
On stage.
Yes.
Pushing a trolley, colourful clothing. Les remembers me. If you remember that day at the casino
Where
and
was
everything.
this at the Townsville Casino?
That's the one. Yes, I was
That's it.
performing. I was with you. I got photos of you, man. I have photos. I've got to find them.
Absolutely.
With Peter Tsakenis, yourself, Tony Tiato,
Peter Tsakenis and,
Goran Lozanovsky. All these boys were there with you.
And Chris Califatidis
Yeah.
and,
He's too old.
and
too
Jimmy
old.
Rooney.
No, they're too bloody old. Those
too
blokes.
old. Sorry about
So
that.
I was there with you guys. You must be in one of the photos. So I've got to get that photo for you.
Yes, let's dig it up.
Yeah, I can recall that event actually.
Remember that guy turning up with a outfit, a crazy outfits, and singing with a clown outfit? That was me, mate. That was me. I can't believe it. I have to get the photos. I'll send you one if I can. I'll send it to you. So no problem.
Beautiful. That'd be
Amazing.
great.
So that was at the pool. Remember the pool, a beautiful pool around there. You guys are swimming in there. You guys were training in the heat there because you had to get acclimatized to the weather of. Was it Los Angeles or was it Los Angeles? Wasn't it?
Orlando, Miami, and Orlando.
Yes, you had to get acclimatized. You were up there in Townsville. That's how I met you guys. Amazing. What a coincidence. So
Small world.
Small world. What have you got for?
Well, Joe, look, we tend to ask this question a lot on past greats. Now, you'd be right up there in that category, obviously. Is there one opponent you said, I wish I wasn't playing today? Would it be Mehmet Jurakovic?
Oh, Mehmet was always a sort of hard man to sort of to play against. There was a few sort of in that boat, where you'd sort of just try to give them the runaround, other than staying close to them for too long, because they'd love to give you a good kick and send you on your way, especially when you're a younger fellow and they don't like getting shown up by the young fellows back in the day.
Well, would you say you cleaned him up more than what he cleaned you up over your career? Would you say it was a boxing match? Did he have the better of you?
Back in the day, mate, I never used to go in. I used to try and get away from those type of players.
Well, that's fair enough.
Try to move, try to run. I never pulled out of a tackle, but you'd know who to sort of you could sort of go up against, and you'd know who to sort of just try to keep clear of and keep moving.
Good answer.
Amazing. And now, Carlos, any more for Joey?
Yes, look, I want to ask you about playing for the national team. How difficult was the step up from domestic football to international football? And how did international football make you a better player?
Yeah, look, stepping up with the Socceroos and then going up into the Socceroos, the level is a big leap. There's a big jump. For the Socceroos, we played against Argentina, where they've got about 60,000 hostile fans, climbing on fences, shaking the cyclone fence, wanting to rip you to shreds. That's and then you've got Batistuta running at you, Ortega, all these type of players. And the level and the intensity of it all is just, is tenfold. And of course from yourself as well, representing your country, there's no greater honour. So, you just got to sort of leave it all out there and try to sort of perform against players of unbelievable talent. So it was always very, very difficult.
So Joey, one more thing before I get Carlos on. One opponent that you played against, I mean, how many teams did you play against at that time? When you're playing for the Socceroos, you're also playing against Premier League teams, from First Division teams, all sorts of teams from all over the world. Did you end up playing against those guys too? What clubs you played against?
Again, with the national team, we were playing against, First Division England clubs.
Yes.
We played against West Ham. We played against who are the other ones? Sheffield United. And that we went to Malaysia and played against Flamengo of Brazil and Crystal Palace. Carlton Palmer, the lights were playing, and we go around, and it wasn't only just international matches. Everything to try and prepare us to have a great tournament. So and the players you came across, you'd be in awe. We went to a training camp in the Netherlands, and at the time I think Barcelona was there, and Johan Cruyff was there, and all these other great players,
Oh my God.
were there, and you're just sort of rubbing shoulders, and you sort of, you're just you think you're a normal fella, and you're rubbing shoulders with all these superstars. It was an unbelievable experience.
Was there any specific player you played against? You were kind of like, oh my, no, they didn't put me on this bloke, did they? They're not putting me on here now, are they? What? Any specific player you were kind of like saying to myself, for real? Are they for real or what?
Probably Gary McDowell. He would have killed young Joe.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. It was strange like that. Like I'd noticed the team before and after, but when I got on the field, I sort of just rubbed out and put out of my mind who I actually was playing against.
Yeah.
I just rub it out and say, yep, we're just going out. It's another game. So just trying not to get sort of overawed by the whole experience.
Amazing.
So, if someone told me who we were playing, I'd sort of try and rub it out and say, look, I don't really know, mate. They're going to worry about me, I don't have to worry about them. So this is sort of how I sort of went about it. Afterwards you sort of go up and go, far out, look who I played against, who's this and that. But yeah, beforehand sort of tried to rub it out and try to let them worry about me and not me worry about them.
Fantastic. Now, Carlos, any more?
Yeah, look, when back in the day, how did you get notified that you were part of the Socceroo squad? Did you receive a telegram, a phone call, a letter? And when you got the call that you got picked to play for the national team, what sort of emotions did you go through? Did you scream, cry, run around the block saying, good-o, I got picked? Tell us. You can take us through that range of emotions.
I can't actually recall the exact moment when I first got the call up, but it used to come through the club basically, where they'd notified the club, and then the club would then let you know, and then as you were part of the squad, you would then get sort of direct notification and things like that. That tours were on or anything like that. But yeah, look. I dare say when the call came in, to first play for the Socceroos, and then the call up direct from Eddie himself to play for the senior team, would have been an unbelievable thing. But I can't remember the exact thing or time, but definitely would have been something that was going to be a very happy moment, and something that you've always sort of dreamed about, because especially the Socceroos, because. Back when there was the opportunity to go to the Institute of Sport, when that was back and happening in the day,
with Smudge,
they had
The
changed.
AIS, yes.
Yeah, the AIS. They had changed the age group. So all the players I was playing with, the Kevin Muskets, and the like, went to the AIS, and I missed out because the age groups have changed, and I was always a year up in school and. Blah, blah, blah. So I missed out on all that AIS thing. And so I just carried on, back at Green Gully, and then playing in the Premier League and Victoria and doing well that way, and going, getting into Parramatta Melita and doing well there. And then at that time, the ages had changed back again. So I was now eligible again for the 96 Olympics instead of the 92 Olympics, where I was too young. So I was a little bit lucky in that respect. So when the call-up came, through Parramatta, that I was selected to back into the Socceroos and go and play with these players that went to the AIS that I had played with, it was just an unbelievable moment.
Yep. Frothy?
Now, Joe, before you actually made it the big time, the NSL first, and we know you moved on to bigger and better things, was there a club when you were a kid, 15, 16, 17, that you actually wanted to end up with? Or did you say, well, whoever I go, I'm obviously going to give 100%, but did you have an NSL club that you had a preference like, oh, gee, I wish I had gone there?
Yeah, look, I was always a Green Gully player, so they were in the old Phillips League and the old NSL, and I was coming through Green Gully, but at the time where I was at a 15, 16 and looking to play senior football and looking to play at the highest level possible, they weren't actually in the NSL. So, there wasn't an actual club that I sort of, followed per se, because, it was always sort of Green Gully type thing. So So, it
Fair
was
call,
just
fair
trying to
call.
get to that next level, whether it was the Melbourne Knights or Heidelberg United or South Melbourne or whoever was up there in that NSL league at the time. And that's where I sort of wanted to be. And, I got the opportunity to play for Heidelberg back when I was 17, left Green Gully for Heidelberg. But, yeah, there was no real club that I sort of said, I'd love to play for them or play for them and play for them. Being, Australian Maltese boy,
Yes. Now,
you sort of, it was all sort of, follow your ethnic sort of roots
your background,
and
exactly.
this and that. Yeah.
That's
So
the
there was no one there where you'd say, but when Parramatta was in there, of course, being of a Maltese background,
well,
I would all
there
say,
you go.
love to go play for Parramatta.
Now we're going to get very serious now. Yeah. Now, Joey, this is what we do when we get players on, right, who play in the NSL and they play for a couple of teams, a few teams like yourself.
Yes.
What we do is we give the team that you played for. You got to give us a score out of 10. What you reckon? What your time was worth there? Maybe 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10. So we're going to mention the clubs that you know what I mean? I'm going to start from the bottom here. Your score out of 10 at your time, what it was like. We're talking here, Melbourne Knights out of 10. What score would you give them?
You give them a 9, I reckon. I'll tell you right now.
Knights. The Knights team, like I said, mate, they were probably the best team going around. So, you'd have to give them close to full 10.
Oh, you're joking. 10? I have to put 10 there now.
Well, I put
Definitely
9.
have to be a 10. Back-to-back champions.
Next team, Marconi.
Marconi's going to give him an 8. There you go. I've got the answer.
Here we go.
Yeah, Marconi, again, that was a big eye-opener, Back when I played for them, we didn't have this type of setup in clubs back in Victoria, huge clubs, huge club outside of soccer.
The Palace.
You know what I mean?
The Palace.
So, yeah. So it was sort of pretty, an overawing experience to sort of to go into that club and into that environment when, if you came from Melbourne, you just have a soccer field, a club room, and that was it basically. Maybe a hall.
This is royalty,
Yeah, not an establishment like you had at Marconi. So that was a great club. Definitely, club wise, you'd give it high marks.
How much?
Football wise, we did do pretty well. I'd probably say an 8. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, now this is going to get really hard here. Parramatta Melita Eagles.
He's gonna
Now you
give
got to
him a
be good
10.
here, mate. You got to be good here, mate.
I'm going to put down 10 here.
Look, Melita gave me my chance to highlight my wares. The club was great. They did everything for me. The only thing wrong is I was a Melbourne boy, and a young Melbourne boy. So there was always in the back of my mind, got to get back to Melbourne type thing. So, but I reckon, as a club themselves, they did nothing I could imagine wrong. We won the cup final, so you'd give them a 9, definitely.
9. Now, this is the one you got to tell me what you're going to do with this one. Green Gully.
10.
Green Gully. What are you going to do with this one?
That's a 10 there.
Green Gully, this is where I grew up. This is, my childhood was all Green Gully. My father was president for so many years. My brother now is on the committee at Green Gully. They had a bit of a trying time in the middle there, and I don't know sort of where they sit then, but as a childhood experience at Green Gully, I thought they were the bee's knees. So, they've always been a great club. You'd have to give them a 9 as well.
A 9, fantastic. So, Melbourne Knights, you couldn't beat Melbourne Knights, that team you had there, mate, honestly.
Well,
the
gee.
Socceroos all over
Just
the
a
place.
10 in relation to the on-field team, basically.
Exactly.
Just unbelievable.
Carlos, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go for it, if you got something to Joey.
Now, what advice can you give a young player who wants to reach the heights and the level that you played in?
Well, again, if there's a player that really wants to sort of play at a high level and they really enjoy the game, just go out and keep enjoying it. Try to play as much football as you can. These days there are specialist academies that they can go to. I run my own academy.
That's coming next.
Yeah, and there's a lot of opportunities for young players out there to better themselves and also get better coaching where that wasn't really really there for us when we were growing up as young kids. You know, you either played by yourself, played for a club, and that was it. So there's, you know, just keep enjoying it and keep putting in the time and effort to have the ball at your feet.
Now,
and, you know, if you love it so much, you'll strive and you'll achieve.
Now, we're going to talk about, Frothy's going to talk about your academy here.
Well, Joe, this is what we are all excited about. Someone who's putting something back into the game and trying to get the young fellas up and about to try and get this golden generation again. Well, Benedict said it. Well, we call him Benedict Arnold. Sorry,
Benedict Arnold. Benedict.
He probably doesn't know. Gray, we call him Benedict. He made a quote, watch out, next generation coming, blah, 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 blah. But I'll tell you what you're doing, you have a football soccer academy. Now, where is it? What do we do? How do we get them there? What are the fees? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I run Soccer Pro Academy, it's called. We've been in operation now probably for the last 15 years.
Whoa.
We're all over all over Melbourne, basically. We've got venues in Point Cook, Werribee, Williams Landing, Sydenham, Geelong, Braybrook, Keilor, Flemington. So, you know, we've got venues all around. We basically cater for the player that's sort of starting out, the pre-team player, the pre-club player, so to speak. We do under 5s, under 8s and under 12s for those pre-team, pre-club players, and we get them, learning the fundamental skills of the game, you know, get them enjoying the game, get them loving the game, get them learning how to play the game, and hopefully get them one day playing for our teams. You know, we've got our own teams participating in the Premier Academy League. I know that's big up in Sydney. It's now down here in Melbourne, and we're one of the inaugural members of that. So we've got one of our teams participating in that league, COVID permitting, and we just sort of try the best I can to get as many kids playing the game and enjoying the game as possible.
Well,
fantastic, Joe.
Joe, I'll tell you something. People that know me, they know that what I'm about to say is true. I used to coach juniors. Sorry, Horace the Crow's flying over. Now, Harry.
Say more or you shoot the bastard.
Now, I thought you had him booked in for Tuesday night.
Shoot the bloody idiot, man.
Now, what's going on a Saturday night, Harry?
God, he's gone
if
and
he
shot him.
flies over... Now, so let's get back to the game.
Get back to the bloody ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I'm dead set serious here, there's nothing more exciting than coaching a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old because they are all ears. They have got the full respect for the coach. Dad's there, they want to impress. They're going to get the hot dog with a sausage after the game.
Exactly.
They know they don't know much. So the level of the patience they got, the enthusiasm they have to listen to the coach, I tell you what, for me, that is probably the best age to coach because some of them don't know how to quite kick a ball. We're talking just like a simple pass, opening your foot and how to trap the ball. Very simple things that we know as adults. But the little kiddies, I tell you what, I used to absolutely love that. But obviously the coaches on the sidelines got to me. A couple of mums had never kicked the ball before and they were telling me what to do and how to do, so I gave it up. But you're right. This academy that you're with, these under 10s or under 12s there, it is the best possible way to have a bit of fun and teach them something which they will take on board. There's no doubt.
You know, we should do... I tell you what we should do, Joe, and we'll get Carlos on in a minute as well.
Absolutely.
When you start back and you do your academy, we're going to come and do a show for the kids. How's that? What do you reckon?
Well, I tell you what, we'll give them free
sounds
sausage
good, mate.
too.
Sounds
we'll
good.
come and do
Nothing
a show.
better, like I said, to see a player starting off with you know, at the under 5s level, you know, pre-club. They can't
beautiful,
get a gig at the club. We teach them all the basic skills. They progress into under 8s. You know, they might progress into our teams. They might go and join the club. They might do both. You know, they've got this opportunity, and then to just see them develop as players. And then, we've been going 15 years, and now I'm seeing these under 5 players playing in Melbourne Victory sides and all these other things. And you go down to club football and you see them how they've progressed, and you go, I had a hand in that. You know, this guy when he first came to me was bawling his eyes out, didn't know how to
Oh, that's
ball.
right. That's right.
And now he's loving the game, and he's one of the major talents. So there's nothing more rewarding than seeing that.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
There's nothing more
Yes.
rewarding than
I
getting
love
these kids playing and loving
Fantastic.
the
Now,
Absolutely.
Carlos, the final one we got with Joey. We got something to talk about
Is
with Carlos
Carlos
after
still
Joey.
here, is he?
Carlos,
Is he there?
I'm,
of course he's
I'm
still.
here. Look, is the cost of playing football a hindrance to development? My family of four
Oh yes.
with 4 children.
Well, yes.
Wouldn't have much. I'm not sure about Victoria, but in New South Wales, if you have 4 children playing football, you wouldn't have much change for $1,000. And if you want to play at the youth level, you're looking at $3,500 and up to play at that level. Is the cost of playing football a hindrance to the next golden generation? And what can we do about it to make it more accessible if you had the magic wand, Joe?
Yeah, look, I think the way that football's gone and the different levels and the different costs of playing at these levels, it really does restrict players that have the talent to play at the highest level. Do you know what I mean? I really do think that, here in Victoria we have MPL, which is the highest level, then you have VPL, then you have your state 1s, 2s, 3s, and it costs a hell of a lot more to play MPL than it does in the lower levels. So, as soon as you start putting a restriction on talent playing at the highest level due to cost, yes, it is definitely something that needs to be looked at and needs to be, changed, because you want the best players playing at the highest level. And if you're not as good, you strive to play at that level, and cost shouldn't be a factor.
That's right.
How do you fix that? Good question. Without someone or something subsidising these costs, and keeping these costs at the same level, it is something that's definitely hard to do, but something that probably needs to be definitely looked at and sort of put into place.
That's right. Now, thank you, Joey. We'd like to thank you for your time tonight, mate. It's been amazing to
Absolute
meet you and have you
champion.
on the Football Less show with the Soccer Psychos.
He's a
And
star.
also Carlos there
Another
from
star.
Planet Football New South Wales. Carlos, hold on there. We've got something to talk to you about, Carlos. Very, very important stuff.
Yes,
Some historical Phillips League stuff. How's that?
I thought we had a court case coming up or
sounds
something.
wonderful.
Phillips League.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joey, you don't believe what we're doing right now. Just before we let you go, we are making Phillips League 1977
There they are.
replicas.
Yep.
We
There
are
you go.
wearing them right now. You'll see them on the replay. We'll
Phillips
send you the
League.
replay. Phillips League
Beautiful.
shirts,
Phillips
right
League.
back in 1977, the
Heritage
original
edition,
shirts.
apparently.
Frothy's wearing Olympic. I'm wearing Fitzroy United, which was Heidelberg United. So, mate, we're
We've
gonna.
got another one, but we can't show
You
it.
can't
can
show
we?
that
Sorry
one. Not
about
allowed to show that one. But anyway,
No.
thank you, Joe, for joining us.
Thank you, Joe.
No
it was
worries,
a
mate.
pleasure.
Been a pleasure.
We'll talk. We'll get in touch and see if we
What
can do
a
the show
clever
down
man.
there where you are. How's that?
Another
Sounds great, mate.
ex-player who knows
I'll
exactly
wait.
what
I'll
he's
wait for
talking
the call.
about.
No worries. Thank you, Joey. Thank you for joining us. Now,
These
Carlos,
guys
hold on there for a
coaching
sec.
the A-League clubs.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Joey. Thank you.
They
Thank you.
have
Thank you.
Every answer we're looking for. Joe Spiteri, along with every other person we've had
Of course.
on, they know exactly what's going on, but they don't get invited to get to the big boys and coach.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you what, look, I am, as you would say, I am disgusted.
Of course, Carlos. He's an amazing man,
Yeah.
isn't he?
He is, and we have spoken for 2 hours. I hope that you enjoy the questions I've asked him.
Mate, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Great questions, amazing questions too. What you've asked, that's absolutely amazing. Now, Carlos, we've
Yes.
got some shirts coming up. These shirts have been
Yes.
made in Adelaide, right? Made in Australia. I'm going to ask you about a club that you would know. In 1977, this club doesn't exist anymore. Western Suburbs Magpies. Remember them at all?
The Magpies.
Yes, they used to wear red shirts from memory. The
Red and white.
clubhouse,
Yes.
the clubhouse, still in Five Dock now. It's called Canada Bay
Yes.
Sports Club, but they used to be in Five Dock by the waterfront.
Yes.
And from memory, they used to wear red shirts or something.
Red and
that-
black stripes. Red and black stripes.
Yeah, that's the one. That's
Yeah,
the one.
and
Yeah,
apparent- Carlos, you won't believe this, but they are being
I
made.
believe you.
they're being-
I believe-
believe me, they're being made.
Harry, I believe anything you tell me, Harry.
Well, I'm so
You know?
glad
And
someone
what about
believes
me?
me
Do you
finally.
believe me, Carlos, or do you think I tell a fib
Just hang on.
sometimes?
Carlos, that shirt is being made
Yes.
this week.
This week,
This week. And we've also, and remember this one too, Brisbane Lions.
Yes.
Soccer club. Oh, now they're in big trouble saying soccer. I'm going to be saying,
Well, you
at
should
that,
be
at
saying
that
soccer.
time it was soccer,
Well, it's
my
there.
friend.
There is only
now,
one football.
Brisbane Lions has been made this week too. And also, listen to
There you
this
go.
one,
Joe's
Carlos.
hat. I'll
Another
do that
Sydney club
personally to
in
Joe.
1977, Eastern Suburbs of Coa.
Queensland Roar. I mean,
Yes, so
that's
they
the
became
old
Sydney
logo
City.
there.
But if my memory
Wearing that.
is
I mean,
correct, Peter
sure,
Wilson
right.
Yes.
used to play for Wests.
Yes, he did.
And then they
Peter
went
Wilson,
under,
yeah.
and then he went across to Arpy. And another club that went under very quickly was the one from Melbourne, the start with an M, Moorebank.
Murrelbach, that's right.
Murrelbach, did they?
They are still around. They're still around as Murrelbach.
Yeah, but they used to be in the National League, and
Yes.
they disappear
Yes.
very quickly.
And they pulled
They
straight.
were-
They pulled straight out. That's right.
Well, let's be honest, Joe. They weren't very good, were they?
It's Carlos, not Joe.
Sorry about that, Carlos. Murrelbach weren't very good. I think they had 1 year, a bit like the Collingwood Warriors. Remember the Collingwood Warriors?
Oh God, those guys. Oh boy.
And Carlton,
Carlton, yes.
Well, the funny thing is, Carlton. Well, Harry, this is actually funny. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Harry believes that Carlton, well, Melbourne Victory, basically
are.
Carlton.
The same model, same everything, same people involved.
Well,
yes, they are.
What do you think, Carlos? Do
They
you
are.
think that's true?
They are.
well, they could be.
Yes, they
but
are.
going back to Victory
Yes.
and the signing of Brendan Hamill.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
yes.
I mean, Popovich builds his team from the back. He's
yes.
a very defense-minded coach. So Brendan Hamill has a long association with Popovich from the Western Sydney Wanderers. So he's there to do a job.
Yes.
And obviously, after a dismal season, player development is taking a step back because they want to be in the top four. And Popovich might not win a grand final, but he will get you to the grand final because
That's right.
every club that he has coached, he has taken that club in the A-League to the promised land. But he builds the team from the back, defensive. I mean, he won the Asian Champions League playing a very defensive style of
Yes,
football. It
he
wasn't pretty. The referee did a favour in Riyadh, but
Yes,
we
exactly.
won. But it wasn't pretty football. It was percentage football. We defend, and we hit you on the break, and then we park the bus. But Brendan Hamill will do a job for Popovich in the centre of the fence of the holding midfielder.
Well, Joe. Sorry, did I say
It's
Joe?
just
Sorry,
Carlos, my friend.
Carlos. Now, Carlos. I actually made a prediction last year to Joe Mirabella.
Did you just?
Oh boy.
Yes, and
don't-
I was right on the money, and
I don't
he
want-
thought
I
they'd
don't want to
play
hear this.
finals. But I'm going to reverse that now. The Victory will play. I tip them to be in the top three next year.
Top two.
Purely because, this is if they're, injury free. I mean, I know other teams have injuries, but the inclusion of Economides, Davidson, Spiranovic, and Brillante,
Big names, mate.
these, you got half a team there, but getting Broxy to go around and cruise, I don't agree with that. I think they got young players that are just as good as these two. I don't know what's going on with the over 30s club. But I can see them actually causing some trouble next year. I hate to say that because I hate them with a passion. No, I don't. I love the Victory. I must know they're
Yes,
they're
yes.
okay. I suppose they're a Victorian team.
Yes.
But look, yeah, four good signings. But the other two renewing contracts. I've had some members call me and they said, "Oh, what are they doing with Broxy and Cruz?" I mean, Cruz really. We love. Is he a member? Is he Robbie Cruz? Is he
Yeah, he's listening to us right now.
he's with us, he knows it himself. He's not a shadow of himself, but then again, now look, Jamie Young has left Brisbane Roar, and my mate Richard Roar, he
lost
is
it.
almost suicidal because he's gone to the Ninjas now.
Unbelievable.
Well, Aloisi has taken one of our players.
He can have him.
Now that's a good pickup. There's no doubt about that.
Well, John Aloisi knows what a such a good goalkeeper he is, and he's getting to goalkeeper starts maturing, or they go forever,
Yeah,
like
40s.
Pino Soft
That's
and
true.
the other one. but they start reaching their peak at 35, 38. So John Aloisi has come to West United. He was Jamie Young Goalkeeper of the Year 3 years ago.
That's
when
right.
Aloisi was coaching them. He knows what he's capable of, and also he wants to develop a backup keeper, and Jamie Young will be the right person to guide a young goalkeeper to be the number 2 and to groom that person to take over. I will say the Popovic signing have not finished. I will say that he will persuade.
Hello? Oh, Carlos got cut off. Oh, my God, we've got to
think
call him
we've
back.
lost him.
We've lost him. Hang on. I'll get him back on. Carlos,
Maybe,
we lost Carlos. I think it just says Gremlins has started again.
Maybe Carlos has had a few too many wines.
Sorry, Carlos.
Sorry, Carlos, you didn't fall off the chair. We know you have a bit of wine this time of the night. Everything okay there? Shall we call 000?
That's all right.
Look, before the Gremlins struck,
That's right.
I was saying that I think Popovic will persuade Diego Castro to swap sunny Perth for Melbourne.
Oh, yes.
To add that flair to, you could imagine Diego Castro, Economides on a 4-4-2. I will say that Popovic will speak to the great maestro of Spanish football, Diego, and swap sunny Perth for Melbourne and have a new challenge because, he needs Economides, a great signing for Victory. Robbie Cruz, he is a player. He can't, if he stays, he had a wretched couple of seasons with injury. If he stays injury-free, he will run rings around everyone and bring the excitement back to Amy Park.
Well, I'm sorry, Carlos. You can take him to court over this, but I reckon he's no good. We can take this to court, and
no thanks.
As long as Harry will be the magistrate. Well, what do you think, Harry? You think you could take up the job as Your Honour?
Order in the court, mate.
Order in the court.
Victory's going to win a lot of titles next year, mate.
Well, look, I've got one more thing to say before we close the shop tonight. Well, how's this for a comparison, Carlos? Jimmy Rooney. Remember Jimmy Rooney?
Of course we do.
Yeah, the pocket diner from Scotland who played
that's right.
with distinction for the Socceroos.
Big player.
Absolutely, yeah. Jimmy. Him and Joe Watson were amazing players.
And Murray Barnes. And Murray Barnes was going around.
That's right.
Now, I'm comparing Jimmy Rooney. Now, this is going to be a hard one. Yes, I know it's a different era, but that's the whole idea. Let's see if we can get a straight answer here. Jimmy Rooney or Aaron Moy? Oh,
Excuse me?
Come on. Well,
Excuse me, Carlos, what do you think?
Well, let's see what young Carlos has got to say.
I think Aaron Moy has an amazing passing ability that is unparalleled to anyone from yesteryear. So
that's right.
I would go for Aaron Moy because of his passing ability, and Jimmy Rooney was like Aaron Moy. They will run all day, they will just die for playing for the country. But Aaron Moy has an amazing vision of putting this ball from right to left, and also he could take a free kick.
Exactly, Carlos.
Correct.
We're going to finish the show right now. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed yourself tonight.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
It's always been a pleasure, and I feel so privileged to be part of your show.
We're going to get you back next week with some special guests. We hope to get.
Now, Harry,
we're going to be talking to Andrews.
City Lawyers, is he?
We're going to be saying our sponsors very shortly.
Sorry about that.
We're looking at Andrew Zinni. Remember Andrew Zinni?
Andrew Zinni.
Yes, played for Melbourne Brunswick.
Brunswick Juventus, right.
Yes,
Carlos, we hope to have him next week and see what happens. But anyway, thank you for joining us, Carlos, and we'll talk to you next week.
My pleasure, always.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you much, guys. My God, Carlos is a wealth of so much information, and he knows all the great players and everything. It's just amazing. Don't forget, guys, tonight's show is brought to you by...
It's brought to you by C City Lawyers, the lawyers that come to you. Yes, they are in Sydney, and also there is only one football.
And Arrow Sports.
And
come on board.
Arrow Sports. There's the jerseys there.
And CTV Network.
And most importantly, Football-esque. Because
Football-esque,
without
that's right.
football-esque, we wouldn't be here.
Exactly,
It's as
guys.
simple as that.
Exactly. Now,
Now, what's
Don't-
Gav? Well,
now-
we got Gav tonight, haven't
no,
we?
Gav's not on tonight. He's
No,
not on
Gav,
now.
no.
Now, as I said earlier to everyone right now, if you're looking for some heritage shirts, Western Suburbs Magpies, we're talking they're going to have their shirts next week. Brisbane Lions are coming next week.
Whoa.
Eastern Suburbs Akawa, they're going to be on next
they
week
are
too,
there.
guys. So don't forget this. We've got these heritage shirts. They're online right now. Where? There is only one football. If you go on there is only one football.com, you're going to see these fantastic shirts. We're wearing them like that. What's he wearing? You're wearing Olympic.
Olympic.
Phillips League.
That's the
Show
one,
them the Phillips League logos, guys. Phillips League
really
logos.
right there,
These
Phillips
are
League,
traditional shirts from 1977. There's more coming in the next few weeks, guys.
Well, this one hasn't been washed. I can still
Don't
smell
bloody wash the bloody thing, man.
What's his name? Peter Escopoulos. I can smell his sweat on this still.
I can feel it too.
But I'll tell you what, so we're going to have Brisbane Lions as well, are we?
We're coming next week, guys. Thank you
Well,
for joining us
we've
on
got
Football List
Brisbane
tonight, guys.
Lions. I am
You'll see
going
Football
to
List live
Brisbane.
tonight with Joey Spiteri and Carlos Bielli, Planet Football New South Wales. Thank you for joining us, guys. It's all happening tonight, guys. Thank you. See you again next Friday night at 9 p.m. Hey. Not on sale just yet, David Ben said.
The cup of life. This. Oh, sorry. Are we? No. Have you sing it either?
I'm going to get you, man.
The cup of life, this is the one. Now is it time? Don't ever stop. We should have known, gotta be strong. We should have known right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world is at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really want it.
Hey!
I see it in your eyes. You want the cup of life. Now the days here, you're gonna get it.
Oh, yeah. Do you really want it?
Here comes Horace.
Do you reel that mongrel again? Oh! Shoot him! Ali, Ali. Shoot him, man! Shoot him again! We got him. Don't forget, guys, next week, Friday night, next Friday, we're on again. 9 p.m. We'll be back next week, guys. Thank you for joining us. Friday, 9 p.m.
Roberto
Football is on again.
Carlos. Sea City.
Hi guys, Harry Sunday here, letting you know that there's a apparel company that supports the game that you love. It's called There Is Only One Football.com, guys. They've got all sorts of stuff from caps, t-shirts, water bottles, all sorts of accessories, even for your mobile phone. All that sporting stuff you can wear anywhere you want to wear it, guys. That's right. And don't forget the website it's on, thereisonlyonefootball.com.
There is only one football.